This video will introduce hit lists and help understand how to use hit lists. Hit lists are a form of query that basically allows you to specify criteria to reduce the number of records we're looking at so that you can either review them or perform operations on them. As we see it right here, we have 68,000 plus records, and obviously it would be hard to work with all of these records. So you can create a hit list by going to the tab here named Hit Lists, clicking the New button, giving it a name. In this case, we're just going to produce a temporary list. That's a quick list you want to use for whatever purposes. You certainly can name a list as you wish, and you can see down in this list down below that there are plenty of lists here. So we will create a temporary list. We will assign fields. In this particular case, I'm going to look at status, and instead of available, I'm going to switch it to pending, because pending is a useful thing to see how many records I may still have to do work on. So I've selected the criteria. The field is status, the criteria is pending. The search type is entire field. In the case of this particular field, that's all that will matter. But some fields allow you to search the beginning of the field, part of the field, those types of things. We're going to have a single criteria this time. I do not need to worry about and or. So once I've selected my criteria, I will hit the execute button, and you can see that we get 20 records as a result of this hit list. The hit list allows me to go back to detail view, and as we see 20 records. And if I go through to the end, that's all we have. We've reduced this list down to 20 records. I can turn the hit list on and off very easily by pressing the hit list button at the top. As we see down here, we end up with back to the original full set of records. When I press the hit list button, the last hit list that was executed will be executed, and we go back to the 20 records. This makes it very easy to move back and forth between a hit list for certain operations. Now, there's much more to hit lists. As we can see on this screen, we also have a sort tab, and the sort field can allow us to sort the hit list by, for example, title. So if I add the sort by title with ascending and I execute this hit list, we're going to see that the title is now in alphabetical order. So the sort order tab back here in hit lists allows you to add a sort to the results of a hit list, and that can order them in a particular way that may make it much easier for you to work with. Now, since the field criteria here is pending, it suggests that I might have some operation I wish to do to these records, and in fact I do. So I'll go over to the Action tab, and I'm going to add to a particular field, to the store price, I'm going to add a value of 2. That will add $2 to the store price. So let's hit the value of 2, and let's execute that. It picks up the list and shows you the records that it's going to do, and then it asks you if you want to run this action query. It will change 20 records. If I say yes, the price of those records in the store price will go up by $2 per record. I can go back. The action has now been reset to none so that you cannot rerun the action inadvertently. And as you can see, we have quite a few actions that we can do in here. Amazon specific in particular allows you to change from FBA, FBM, and those types of situations, and any other Amazon related. Append allows you to append text to a given field, and on and on. These actions are all quite well available. Now, there's another type of hit list that we need to talk about, and we'll cover that in another video, but for right now we'll do a quick run of it, and that is called a category list. And when we make a category list, we can upload the category list, meaning that that will provide online services with a category value that lets them associate your record with, say, history or military or whatever categories you feel are appropriate for your list. So this ties into the category system in the online services. If we say yes, it'll automatically use it. Now what I basically do is I would enter record IDs to add records to the category list, and when I execute the category list, I will see just those 2 records. This allows you to literally specify a list based on the SKU of the record. It's a very useful functionality. Other uses for the hit lists include sorting records for catalogs. You might want to create a new catalog list, and you might want to make that out of available records that have title dog in the title in any part of field. And if I hit execute there, you'll find that this gives me 32 records with the word dog somewhere in the field. Now, since I got church dogmatics and we have dog and dogwoods, we may not want all of those. You could add a space. There's some limit to what you can do. Outside of that, here's your list of records. And if we went down to the catalogs, we could use that hit list down in here and see what we get if I do. I can't remember whether I named it properly, but you can pick your hit lists in here, and that can drive a catalog print. We'll talk about catalogs in another video later. So overall, the purpose and intent of a hit list is to provide a means of specifying criteria up here at the top, telling us how the field will work. You can use an and or between the lines. It's not perfect, but it does allow you to have some more additional control over how the hit list is interpreted by the query engine. And when you execute the hit list, you get a subset of your records that you can then review. You can use for a catalog or an export or any number of places where we enable hit lists to be selected. You can use it for repricing, or you can perform an action on the hit list in order to accomplish some action such as altering fields, updating data, or anything to that line. Hit lists are incredibly useful. They're very powerful. We suggest that you do the work with the non-action hit lists for a while so that you get an understanding of how it works. And then when you use the action hit list, be very, very careful. The changes cannot be undone. So that will conclude our current first video of how hit lists work in BookTrakker. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.